Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus Review. Design. I can't help but love the curved side of the Samsung Galaxy Edge screens. While not as impacting as the Note Edge's single display from 2014, the fact everything melts into the side of the phone adds something that most other phones simply can't. It's a clever way of Samsung making a phone without bezels, in terms of appearance anyway, while maintaining the sides needed to hold the thing. The edges themselves are utterly redundant, despite what Samsung is trying to tell us, but in terms of pure aesthetics, this phone really has no equal. I'm actually surprised at the job the brand has done in terms of making the S6 Edge Plus a decent phone to hold. The metallic rim is comfortable in the hand, and the smooth glass creates an effect that goes some way to offsetting the high cost of the phone. Despite packing a 5.7-inch screen, I was actually able to stretch my thumb right along the screen a lot more than I was expecting, again thanks to the curved display. It's still a phablet though, and as such you'll need to use a two-handed grip a lot more than with the normal S6 range. The other new functionality here is the ability to poke and send little notes to other Edge users, called On Circle. But that's such a niche amount of users that I nearly didn't mention it. Imagine the stuff Apple Watch users can do to one another, but with fewer choices and people to do it with. You're there. This is a feature that's destined to go the same way as Gadget, Samsung's failed own brand WhatsApp. Simply put, it's a stretch to use the Edge screen for anything worthwhile. There are some cool parts in theory, but in reality the large screen is a bit too cumbersome here. Swiping one-handed isn't the easiest given the bigger dimensions, and I was constantly worried I'd just flip it out of my hand. While we're here talking about the display though, let me just remind everyone, it's brilliant. Yes, it's the same resolution as seen on the S6 Edge, and at 5.7 inches it's theoretically less sharp. Higher battery. While I don't want to ruin the battery testing coming up, I'm glad that Samsung has decided to bite the bullet and increase the power in the S6 Edge Plus. The smaller, normal S6 Edge has a tiny 2600 mAh unit, and it's just not big enough. That phone just about manages the day, but it's not comfortable. If it wasn't for the fact the other handsets on the market were equally as bad, Samsung would have been in all sorts of trouble here. The extra size on the S6 Edge Plus has thankfully been used for a bigger 3000 mAh battery, which should mean the phone will last a little bit longer, given the screen resolution is the same, the software slightly better optimized and, generally, the power of a phablet is used properly. Fingerprint scanner. Apple launched the fingerprint scanner onto the wider world with Touch ID in the iPhone 5s, and it's not looked back since. It wasn't the first out there to do so, but it was the first biometric authentication that was easy to use and didn't mean you needed to compromise speed of unlocking. Samsung tried the same thing with the Galaxy S5, but that was a swiping method and it, well, sucked. This time around, the S6 Edge has a very simple click and hold method of opening the phone, and it's virtually faultless.